Who do we got out there? Thanks, Robert. I appreciate it. You hear me all right, bud? Perfect. Just want to make sure all new setup here, just trying to make sure everything's working well. It's hard to do when you're here by yourself. So kind of a jump on, let's put both feet in the fire and see what goes on. What's going on, Doug Lamb? Good evening, everyone. Get a few of you to jump on here and we'll fire this thing up tonight. I was wondering about the echo. How you doing, Roger Neal? Mark Coleman, how you doing, bud? Yeah, it's storming bad here. I didn't know if I was going to make it out to the shop or not. Guys, do we got a pretty bad echo in here? What's going on? Yeah, it's an echo. That's kind of what I figured. Let me switch mics and see if that helps out. How about now? Do we still got a bad echo? Robert, there's actually 50 mounts in this room right here. All that way. All right, we'll try one more thing here. That's better. You guys still hear me pretty good? I can try something else here. How about that one? Is that one better for you? Okay, back to this one. Yeah, Mark, my taxidermist is Eric Kibler. Yep. Perfect. Yeah, you would think with 51 mounts in here, just deer mounts alone with the bear, the full body and everything else, you would think that it would, you would think it would not echo, but it does. I open the door, it's fine, but it's storming so bad out there, it's unbelievable. So we'll figure out something for next time. I got some wireless mics I can wear next time that takes all the echo out, but I wanted to try this first. Well, we just both get this thing fired up, guys. You know, springtime is right here around us, right here. I mean, it's on us right now. It's coming. I know here in Illinois right now, we're getting hammered with the rain, 70-degree weather. It's going to warm that ground temp up like you would not believe. So, Jeff Johnson, good to see you on here, bud. So it's prime time to get working about, quit thinking about frost seeding and all that kind of stuff. Start thinking about overseeding your plots. Start thinking about groundwork, fertilizers, soil conditioners, lime, you know, all this stuff. The lime should already been thought of and put on already. But for the ones that have not done that, I mean, it's time to get it down, get that breakdown process going and get it fired up. So that's what we're here to talk about tonight. There's quite a bit to talk about, but not a lot. You know, it all kind of runs together, you know. And a lot of you probably, I hope you can hear me all right. Because the echo in the room, and I lost my voice halfway from the Indiana show from talking so much, and now I'm leaving tomorrow for Iowa, so I won't even be able to talk this weekend probably, but it's all good though. It's for a good reason. But nope, let's get into talking about the pH of your soil. I try to beat it in everybody's head every chance I can. You know, it's the number one thing that most people steer away from. They don't think it's important. For me personally, myself, if I can't check the pH of the soil, I won't plant a plot. I did for many years. After getting into checking the soil, adding the lime to get it up to the level I wanted, it was night and day difference. I mean, people don't have a clue on what a lot of people, I shouldn't say all, a lot of people don't have a clue on what that pH does for that soil. And or in that soil does for your plants. So if you're looking at the pH of the soil, that's going to be the deciding factor of the tonnage that you're going to receive out of your plot. One way you receive tonnage out of your plot is by the nutrients you give it, the fertilizer. If the pH is not at a 7.0, there's no way your plants can ever utilize 100% of that fertilizer. So in doing so, you want to utilize every bit of it. You know, I look at a plot, I run 300 pounds of fertilizer per acre when it comes to my clover plots, my annual plots and all. And I know what it costs for certain ones, you know, especially you get up in the nitrogen base, you know, you're getting up in there from 20 to 30 bucks a bag. So usually you're looking at 7.5, 8 bags. It gets pretty pricey in a hurry. And when you start losing, you know, 20, 30% of the fertilizer that you put on, the plants can't, I mean, your plants cannot be what they need to be. You know, they have to get 100%, just like a whitetail buck has to be 100% to give you 100% the next year in the growing season. That soil needs to be at 100%. It needs to be at that 7.0 to give them plants exactly what they need so they can be at 100%. You know, when they're at 100%, they're going to be the highest protein, the highest energy. They're going to be able to turn sweeter. You know, that's why you want them plants at 100%. The only way to do it is that 7.0 mark. Well, will your premium mixes grow in a 6.0? Absolutely. 6.0, plant them. You'll be happy with them. Just know that you're losing some money in fertilizer, and you could have more tonnage if you just bump that up with some cheap lime to get that pH built up. Many ways to go out there and check your soil. You can go out to Walmart, Menards, buy you a garden probe, stick it in the ground, tell you the pH. Our test kits here, the pH test kits, you'll know within 15, 20 minutes exactly what your pH is. The chart inside of it's going to tell you exactly how much lime to add per acre to get it up to the desired level that you want. And that one kit right there will do 4 different plots. So knowing what you need to build it up is the most important thing in that. You would think it'd be the test strip. Test strip is very important, but knowing how much lime to add and having a company like us that's already calculated that out for you and have it in that kit is priceless when it comes to putting lime on. So
Biggest thing on lime is breakdown. If you're in an area where you can get ag lime on, you can get a bigger piece of machinery in there to sling it, that's great. Just realize that ag lime, it is going to last longer, but it's going to take 6 months to break down. You look at pelletized lime, you're looking at a line that's actually going to break down in about 3 months, and you only need 1/10 of the amount of ag lime. So I use pelletized lime on everything I have just because of I want it to get in there and break it down quick. 75% of my plots are perennial plots, so they're not destroying the soil like the annuals do. But I can get in there with either ATV, my small tractor. You can even get in there with a bag spreader if you want. If that's all you have, you can spread it with a bag spreader. Yes, it's going to take you a while, but you can do it. So lime is key, guys. I mean, if you can't get that pH up, man, you're just wasting some money. Yes, you can get some greens growing, but you look at our trophy clover mix at a 7.0 with a good soil, a good sun, you're looking at a mix that's going to give you about 30% protein in its growing state. You drop that down to a 6.0, you're dropping that protein level down about half. So it'll never get up any higher than that because then plants are not be able to utilize the nutrients like they should. So that's just kind of an easy way to look at it. For me, yes, I want my plots to look good, but I want them to be at the highest protein and energy level that I can get. So it is key to get that lime on there, get them that pH build up, get close to that 7.0 or right on that 7.0 you can, and you'll be golden. Another thing to look at is like our plot max. I think that's, yeah, the plot max there. You know, that is a soil conditioner. It's not a so-called liquid lime. Yes, will that bottle right there spike your pH? It will because it's humic acid, but it's very short-lived. It is not designed to raise the pH of your soil. It's not designed for that. It's actually designed to break down the soil, to allow the nutrients that are embedded into the soil to adhere to the root system easier. So that's why we like using Plot Max prior to planting or on the day of planting. It works very, very well. Great way to break down the soil. That humic acid will really break it down. And if you look at any studies on CWD, humic acid is one of the tools that they're using to help with the aid of that. So getting that humic acid on the ground is very beneficial. So we talked about lime, talked about our pH. One good thing to talk about is getting the proper fertilization. So I probably received 10 phone calls today. Out of probably 8 out of 10 of them were questions about fertilizer. And when it comes to fertilizer, you know, everybody knows 10, 10, 10. They know triple 13. They know triple 19, triple 15. They think that's for everything. You know, if you're getting out there planting your spring perennial plots, you do not want to be putting any of this nitrogen on them plots. You get the clover plots, the alfalfa plots, stuff like that. Do not get that nitrogen based. All you're going to do is feed the weeds and grasses. That clover is going to suck in that nitrogen from the atmosphere, store it in the soil. So getting the proper fertilization, you're looking at, you know, 0-0-60, 0-20-20. To make it easy for a lot of people, I try to tell them, get that first number as low to 0 as you can. Your second number can be wherever you want. I kind of prefer mine up in the 20s or so if I'm going that way. The third number as high as you can. So hardly nothing on the first number, get midways in that second one, the third one high as you can. But 0-20-20 is one that's very easily found. 0-0-60 is mostly your ag stores or your landscape stores, stuff like that. But 0-0-60 is my best friend when it comes to my perennial plots. So, and putting the proper amount on, you know, on the back of each bag that we have what we recommend for you to use, that what we test it with. And we test it with all different pounds of fertilizer to see what grows better and the most tonnage and the sweetness we can get out of it. Like for me, I run 300 pounds per acre. You know, if I'm planting trophy clover, I'm running 300 pounds of 0-0-60. If I'm planting honey hole, I'm running 300 pounds of triple 19. You know, I'm running grade 8 triple 19 at 300 pounds. Game changer clover, you know, I'm running 300 pounds per acre on it of 0060. So I kind of judge it that way. 300 pounds is a great number. It sounds like a lot, and it sounds like a lot of money, but it really isn't, especially if you buy it at an ag store. So I buy my 0060 by the ton. Used to have to get it in a trailer. Now the ag store actually bags it up for me in a clear bag, and it's very inexpensive that way. So works out very well. So the proper fertilization, getting it down, and you know the best way to do it. And I try to tell people, you know, I guess I shouldn't say this because we're talking about spring planting. I'm getting ready to talk about fall planting, but on my spring plantings, I don't worry so much about working the fertilizer into the soil. I like to, but I don't really work on it that much. But as in my annuals, I do it two different ways. There's either, if I'm going to plant, I'm going to work my nitrogen into the soil so I don't lose any from evaporation. But over about the last 5 years, I started waiting on putting any fertilizer on my annual plots until after them plants reach about 3 inches tall and I got rain coming in. It just seems to help so much better. I've been testing it that way for a few years. Like I said, the last 5 years, I've been running it that way. I'll let them jump up. Now, last year, I worked it into the soil because we're in a drought. But the years that I know we're having plenty of moisture, I'll go back and I'll spread my nitrogen when them plants get about 3 inches tall. If I'm in a drought type area, praying for rain, I will work it in the soil so I don't lose any evaporation. So, but with the clover plots in the spring that we should be talking about right now, you do not have to work it in the soil. If you're working the soil, you can. But like for me, a lot of times when I'm working soil, which you probably, most of you already know, I never work a plot over 2 inches deep anyway. So it's hard to get that fertilizer worked in real well anyway because of that. Now, when I used to do it before I knew any better, and I used to till it deeper, even for my annuals to get my nitrogen in, I would I'd turn it in that way. But now with it, 1.5 to 2 inches, all I work to make that nice little seed bed, it's hard to get it turned in anyway. So I try to get everything put around a rain coming in the spring, good moist ground anyway. Just get that fertilizer put on. Usually it's the same day that I'm planting, and I'll just let it work in. So works very well that way. Sorry guys, I'm about half hoarse here. So the next thing to look at really is finding the proper mix. You know, with us, we have our trophy clover, we have our Booner Buffet, we have our game changer clover. For the guys out there looking for a shaded mix, you're really looking at the game changer clover. The game changer clover is going to offer you 5 good years of growth with that varieties of clover that are in there. There is one variety of crimson clover, the rest are perennials. We like using that crimson clover. Number one, it works as a great nurse crop because with it being an annual, it'd jump up weeks prior to when the perennials will. So it's going to help with that ground cover. But now if you're looking at a good full sun area and a very good pH in the soil, you cannot beat trophy clover. Trophy clover is my favorite. They can fire me today, I'll plant it tomorrow. It's one of them type of mixes. Planted it for 25 years. And again, it's just one of my favorite mixes for that full sun. Needs a good 6 hours of sun a day, good soil, good pH. But then you come into our Booner Buffet. Booner Buffet is our clover variety that has 2 varieties of premium alfalfa and a variety of chicory as well. The clover and chicory is going to grow where in soils that the alfalfa won't. So what you got to look at is you need to have your soil built for the alfalfa. The premium alfalfas take the best soil you can give them. You got to get that pH up there to 7.0. You've got to hammer them with the nutrients. And when it grows, you can't ask for anything better. But you just got to do your homework and get that plot set up the way the alfalfa needs it to be. Again, 7.0 pH, very good sun. It needs a good 6 hours of sun or more a day. It's just one of them things that's very finicky. Alfalfa is like a sugar beet, very, very finicky, but if you can grow it, you can't beat it. So that's the three that we have there. And then we have our straight chicory as well, which I plant a lot of straight chicory. I love planting straight chicory because, especially with me being here in Illinois where I cannot use minerals, I can't have any mineral licks. So I love using the chicory because chicory is one of about 3 plants that we use in the deer industry that has minerals embedded into it. So that's why if you ever watch a deer, if you ever had mineral licks and ever planted chicory, you'll realize the deer will only hit the minerals when they want them, when they need them. That's how they work through a clover plot that has chicory in it or a straight chicory plot. You'll see them in there at certain times and they will hammer it. The next few days, they might walk through it to go eat the clover or go eat their natural browse, some branches or leaves on the branches. So you just never know. You always wonder what's going on. Why they don't like it? They had it last night. It's the mineral content. So it's just a good way for me to give the deers extra mineral. There I go saying deers. My wife she kill me when I say deer. She can't stand it. So, but that's the way to give the deer the mineral they need, more so than what they can just get with their natural browse. They're going to get minerals in their natural browse. They just can't get everything they need and the magnitude they need it in. So the chicory helps out a lot. So I try to plant at least 1 acre of chicory every year, just straight chicory, just for that only. All right, while I catch my breath here, let's see what we got here. If we got any questions on here, guys. I'll tell you what, it's good to be back on here. Doug Lamb, yes, sir. I did get your email today, bud. We got a bunch of you on here. Trying to read through everything here, guys. Actually, Doug Lamb, you made a great comment here. Something I wasn't thinking about when we were talking about plot max. You know, for you guys out there, is going to burn off an area with some herbicide. You can mix that plot max right in with your herbicide and do a one pass application, so you can kill off the area and put the soil conditioner down at the same time. You do not have to spray them separate. So great catch here, Doug. I wasn't even thinking. Mark's asking how much will a bottle treat the plot max? You're looking at a ½ acre. And something that really I get asked a lot, and at Indy I got asked a lot this last weekend, when it comes to any of our fertilizers, which we're going to talk about our foliar fertilizer here shortly, but any of our foliar fertilizers and our soil conditioner, you're looking at, we got the recommendations on how many gallons of water per ½ acre. So it's hard for us to tell you exactly because every sprayer is calibrated different. If you look at like the plot max is telling you eight gallons of water per ½ acre. But what you have there is a properly calibrated sprayer should be spraying 10 to no more than 11 gallons of water per acre. Most sprayers that you go buy off the shelf these days, that a lot of guys are using for food plots, you know, they got flood tips in them. They're going to dump out 20 gallons of water or spray per acre. What you want to do with these products is figure out how much your sprayer, if you don't know how to calibrate your sprayer, run a test on it, see how much water it takes for you to do that, your plot, whatever size it is, and then add the liquid products to that amount of water. So you don't have to worry about diluting them down too much. If it takes you 20 gallons of water to spray an acre of clover fuel, and we got on here 10 gallons, that's not a problem. As long as you spray the whole tank out on the plot, you're good. So you do not have to put 10 gallons of water in with a sprayer that's going to take 20 gallons and try to run 150 mile an hour around and tear your plot up. Just put in the amount that your sprayer needs to spray that area off. Jason's asking, what's my thoughts on liquid lime? I'm not a fan. I'll just put it that way. Spiking your pH, you can't beat liquid lime. For longevity, it's just not there. A couple different ways. I've done a lot of studies on liquid lime, a bunch, and talked to a lot of different universities about it. Purdue University, being one of them that really opened my eyes on it. But what you're looking at, the first thing that I ever caught my eye when I started talking to people about liquid lime, when it was getting out in the industry pretty good, I talked to about 10 different farmers, and I asked them what they thought about liquid lime. Have you ever used it? Every single one of them told me if it would do what they say it will do, and for the price they say it will do, every farmer in the nation will be using liquid lime, and none of them 10 use it. So if a farmer is not using it, where it says he can save money, that means I ain't using it. So, you know, I'm not as tight with my money like a farmer is. And if a farmer says no, that really opened my eye to start studying it and reading up on it, talking to the guys over at Purdue University, which are awesome. The only way you're going to get the benefit out of liquid lime, certain ones, and I'm not going to go in detail with them, but certain ones, is pretty much if it tells you need 2,000 pounds of ag lime, that's how much liquid lime you need too. So if it tells you, it's not a 2.5 gallon jug for an acre plot and going to take care of you all along. It's not going to do that. Is it going to spike it? Is it going to make it look beautiful right off the bat? Again, I don't talk bad about any competitors or anything like that. I will tell you this. There is 5 of them out there, different liquid limes, calciums, that if you read the ingredients on it, there is a percentage of nitrogen in it too. So that nitrogen, what you have there, it's going to spike the pH with that calcium, which is going to help right off the bat. And then you take an annual that this also has nitrogen in it, it's going to make that thing look green and beautiful, just bam, and then it's going to fade away. So most people that I know that use it, they're like, man, I can't believe 2 weeks after I sprayed that, you can't believe how I greened up. Well, if you're putting pretty much our Jolt down there on it with some calcium in it, it'll do that, but it's short-lived. So that's just my 2 cents. I try not to talk too much about it, and I already probably said way too much because I don't like talking bad about things. I am just not a fan. I will stick with pelletized and ag lime for the rest of my life, no matter what comes out on the market. So, but for a quick fix, you can't beat it. It's pretty much kind of what I told you about how Plot Max, man, you spray that on a plot, it just jumps it green and beautiful looking. And 2 weeks later, your pH is back to where it was. That's not what it's intended for, but it will do that. So kind of something like that, guys. See what else we got on here. All right, Jeff Johnson's talking about his last soil test, said 6.3 to 6.4, so he put 2.5 to 2.75 tons per acre, which is supposed to get him up to 6.8 to 7. A year later, the test was only a 6.5 to 6.6, was keeping it down. Number one, Jeff, tell me what you're planting in there, what you got growing. And number two, that sounds like, I mean, I take it you're talking ag lime. That doesn't sound like enough ag lime to jump it that much with ag lime. I would think you're looking more around, yeah, you're probably looking more close to 5 ton to get it up. So, because you're looking 4, 3, 0, 250, 5. Yeah, you're a little light on the tonnage there. Whoever told you that, it's a little light. But well, as I scroll down here, bud, tell me what you got planted in there. Well, James asking where's the best place to buy 0060 around here. James, ASC would be your best place. An ag store, ag places. I buy mine actually down. I guess I should make sure this is the James Weaver. I think it is. But I buy mine south down by Robinson, Illinois, and like I say, I buy it dirt cheap down there. Yeah, it's a 3-hour round trip, but man, I can buy it. I can buy a ton of 0060 for about 350 bucks. So, and they bag it up in 50-pound bags for me. But I used to get it at ASC a lot. They let me go in there, and I'd always, farmer would give me a bunch of feed bags, and I'd go in there and either shovel it in my trailer, or they'll weigh me in, and I'll fill up 5-gallon buckets, and I'll fill up feed bags, and they weigh me out and charge me by the pound. So. I've got clover and chicory, and already I tossed it into my fall, winter, spring, winter rye is greening up now. Absolutely, that's a great way to do it, bud. The clover and chicory and fall, winter, spring, you can't beat them, especially if you're putting the clover and chicory down over a fall, winter, spring plot. Yeah, I don't know who I'm talking to here, but it says at Sandy. But you're talking about, yeah, you got 2 foot of snow left on the ground. Man, northern New York, I feel sorry for you, bud. I really do. 5 degrees last night. I hope we're over with that stuff here. It's probably the coldest winter we've had in 20 years. Uh-oh. I knew this should be coming on here. Well, my son-in-law is telling me that my new little grandson needs a pH test kit, trophy clover, slam dunk, and honey hole. So what the little grandson needs, which is getting ready to turn a month old. So yeah, he'll probably be out there putting some food plots in this spring, maybe this fall. I don't know if he will this spring, but this fall we'll probably have him out there running the tractor. So Bowen's going to get it, Jake. Don't worry. Mike, you're asking what plot max do you work it in or spray it and run with it? I've added it to my weed killer, but wasn't sure about already till. No, you do not have to work it in. You can just spray it, especially using a herbicide, just spray right over it. And even if you're not using a herbicide and you got tilled ground, you do not have to till it in. Just spray it right on top. Yes, Rob, humic acid helps hold that water during a drought period. Absolutely it does. One of the great benefits for it. Jeff Johnson, you're saying clovers and annuals. So what's sucking that pH out is your annuals. If I know you well enough, you're probably got some turnips and radishes growing in there, or maybe some rape. The key thing is I try to tell everybody, just like with our honey hole mix, our slam dunk, our grade 8, them are mixes there, even though the grade 8 has the cereal rye in there for a soil builder, it's still going to destroy your pH. Not as bad, but it's still going to do it. That's why you never want to run Nebraska over 3 years. I only run mine twice, 2 years. So them annuals was what's destroying your soil and sucking that pH. The clovers that take a few years to see a little bit of a drop. They don't hurt it very much, but them annuals will destroy it year after year after year. I mean, I can't believe actually that it didn't drop even more than that for what you said earlier by having annuals in there. And again, this one at Scott says he uses clover all summer and get free nitrogen for his fall plots. Absolutely, but I have for years. I preach it. It's the best thing ever to do. So clover is cheap, and I'll tell you what, it's a great soil builder. It'll pull the nitrogen in from the atmosphere, store it in the soil, and them annuals you plant in there in the fall, what? It just gives them that jump start. So you're feeding the deer and the soil at the same time. So great way to do it. James, you're welcome, bud. Yeah, Mark, she's probably in there listening to me say deers. I say deers all the time, and she smacks me upside the head when we're looking for deer. I still think, if it's more than one, it has to be deers, but she tells me there's no S on it. I don't understand it. That's why I'm a redneck and she's a school teacher. So she just has to live with it. That's all I can say. I mean, heck, if there's two moose in that mooses, I mean, that's the way I look at it. I mean, that's a redneck in me. Don, 4 foot still on the ground in eastern end. Holy cow, you're talking about 4 foot of snow. That's ridiculous, man. I hope that goes down for in a hurry. Mike, you're welcome, bud. That's perfect, Jeff. Yeah, make sure you rotate them at least every 3 years. Like I say, I started doing mine too. You can go 3, but I mean, I like doing mine every 2 years, and it's really helped out. So now, since I got through them, let's jump on here and talk a little bit about the foliar fertilizers. We talked about the granular. I get asked all the time, can I use the foliar fertilizer instead of the granular? Yes and no. If you go out and have a soil test done that let me know what your nutritional levels are in that soil, then I can tell you yes or no. Without knowing, I wouldn't. I would always put granular down, and then substitute in some clover fuel or the jolt for the annuals, clover fuel for your perennials, when it needs it. So I have unlimited supply of clover fuel. It's one of my favorite things that we have, because I'm a diehard clover guy, as most of you know. But I still put my 0060 down to feed my soil. And then I will come in throughout the year, usually 2 to 3 times, depending on Mother Nature, what she's going to allow. If I'm getting a real rainy season and I'm mowing a lot, and if I want to get in there and I got a bunch of weeds and grasses coming in, I will always mix clover fuel in with my herbicides, my clethodim, my 2,4-DB, or my IMAX or IMOX, whichever one I'm using. I will mix the clover fuel in with it. So that's even though them are select herbicides, they're still gonna stun that plant. And with stunning that plant, it's gonna go for 2 to 3 weeks. You'll see some browning of it, maybe some yellow spots, wilting a little bit, then it bounces right back out of it. When you start putting a foliar fertilizer down with it, it helps that process so much I mean, within a week, the plants are right back and going crazy again. So, but if I'm in a time that of the year where I'm not getting much rain, maybe I've only had to mow or spray weeds once or so, I will always try to give 2 to 3 doses of clover fuel no matter what, even if I don't have to spray herbicides. So the key thing, the last few years with all the drought, I say last few years, probably the last 6 years of droughts, the clover fuels was kept my clover going as best as it could. Last year was the first year that I've ever seen or ever had my clover completely die because of a drought. It was so bad. Nothing could help it. We didn't get anything. I mean, almost 4 months with not even a tenth of an inch of rain. But normally, you get a drought for a month or two, the clover fuel, you spray it, it will not burn the plant. It'll make that plant a lot healthier, and it will withstand a lot more abuse from Mother Nature. So if you're not doing a soil test and you don't know what your nutritional values are in your soil, I would definitely go with the granular and then substitute in some clover fuel throughout the year. Absolutely, you're correct. 1 deer is deer, and 3 or 4 would be deers. I like how you're thinking. Robert's asking, can you put down too much lime? You could, but I bet you never do. It's in my 35 plus years of planting food plots, I've never, ever been able to do it or know anybody that's ever done it. Now, let's be sensible though. You know, if you got a 6.8 pH and you go out there and put 20 tons of lime on, yes, it's going to go crazy. But knowing your level and wanting to fix it, I've never seen anybody ever come close to overdoing it. And overdoing it some's not going to hurt much. You get too much, and yeah, you got to start working on some stuff. Best thing to do, throw a bunch of brassicas in there, turnips, radishes for 1 year. They knock a lot of it down right off the bat. But back to the foliar fertilizers, again, you do not have to go off the recommended rate of water, what we have on here. You just, again, use whatever your sprayer takes to spray that area that you want. That's how much you put in there. So if you got an area that's 1 acre, and let's just say half an acre, you got a half acre spot, figure out how much it takes to do that, put a half a bottle in. You know, this bottle here is going to treat 1 acre. The Plot Max treats a half an acre. The Jolt down there, our annual foliar fertilizer, it treats 2 acres per 32 ounce bottle. Same thing. Just know what your sprayer takes to spray it, mix it in with that amount, and empty your tank. Chris Ashley, good to see you, bud. Oh, Darren Snyder. What's the best product you have for late season? Man, the best product, late season is going to be honey hole. You know, brutal, cold months, nasty. But man, you can't beat lights out as well. You're going to get a little bit of early season food in with it. You're going to have a great late season draw, but honey hole is the number one. So you were just sitting in my booth this weekend. You should know that. All right, guys, got any more questions for me? I'm just going to keep rambling if you don't. I don't think I missed anybody here yet. And look back through here. I will tell you guys this, that talking about a late season draw was the best thing for it. We got a new one coming out, and it should be out before fall planting. It's going to be a good one. That's all I'm going to say about it. Tested it last year. It didn't do well for me because I was in a drought until October. and then it jumped up, and then we got a first frost. But other guys that I sent it to that tested it with some good weather, oh man, it was awesome. So it's ready to go, working. Man upstairs talking to me out there. It scared me. Doing the bag work on it right now, the artwork, it's going to be a good one, guys. I will tell you this, if anybody loves honey hole, they're going to fall in love with this one. So, Jeffrey, good to see you on here, bud. Yes, sir, Doug Lamb. I always got secrets. And I know it just eats you up. All right, I just seen another one here. Hold on, guys. Oh, Brian's on here saying, last year I tilled an area for a food plot that was overrun by nutsedge. What should I do to ensure my plot does better this year? Number one, but get in there. I mean, if it was me, I'd get some Liberty and get in there and spray and kill that area off really good after it starts greening up. And what I like to do, I don't know if you got the time or Mother Nature's going to allow you to have the time, but when I'm running an area like that, that's going to cause me a lot of grief, I will get in there and I'll till that down about 4 inches. I'll spray it first, till it about 4 inches after it starts dying off, and I'll do that 3 more times. But the second time, I'm only going to go up, I'm going to raise it up to about 2 inches. And then the third time, I'm just skimming the top. So I'm trying to eliminate them weed seeds that you're pulling up. So spray to kill it off with some Liberty. Make sure you use Liberty. Spray and kill it off with Liberty. Let it start dying. Go in there and till it down about 4 inches. Let it green back up. Spray it again. Wait till it starts turning. Till it down about 2 inches deep. And it starts greening up again. Spray it. And then lightly just scuff the top with that tiller or just drag it with something. That'll really help out a lot. Again, I know, especially a spring planting, it's hard to do that. A 3-step like that, a lot harder in the spring than it is the fall because usually we have a wet spring. But the more you can do that, the better off you are just to kill, because you're always, no matter if you stick that in the ground or drag on top, you're always going to pull weed seeds up. And if you had a mess already, I guarantee there's a lot of ungerminated weed seeds in there that's going to pop on you. So then look into, if you're spraying, if you're planting like a clover mix, something like that, you can use select herbicides to spray over that to keep that knocked down afterwards. It gets into annuals. If you're going to be putting annuals in like this fall, then you're very limited on the select, because all you really have is a grass herbicide that you can spray and not a weed herbicide. Mark, you're exactly right. We sold the heck out of it at the Indie Show. And Mark, actually, I didn't tell you, after you left on Saturday, I had one of the best Sundays I ever had. I literally came home with, I think, 3 bags of lights out and 2 bags of grade 8. I sold everything else. And I forgot that I had another case of Booner Buffet underneath the table on the other side. I pulled it out and sold it Sunday as well. Best selling show at Indy I've ever had. It was remarkable. I mean, I didn't have nothing left except them, like, I think it was like 5 or 6 bags. That's all I had out of the 3,000 pounds of stuff I took with me. Mike, yeah, if you want to talk about barricade, let's talk barricade, bud. Barricade's one of them things that a lot of people jump ahead or they plant too late. You know, barricade, which is our shield product, barricade's one of the mixes that you do not want to plant until that ground temp hits 60 degrees. Don't plant it before, and don't plant it in August. You know, try to get that in, because you never know what Mother Nature is going to give you. If she's going to give you plenty moisture, you can plant it in August in the Midwest and it'll be 8 foot tall before October 1st. But we know how that has been here lately, and we don't get any rain. So it's not the plant's fault, it's not the seed, it's Mother Nature. So as soon as that ground, you start seeing the farmers out there getting the beans put in, just planting soy or drilling soybeans, that you know it's getting close. That's prime time to get ready to start planting that barricade. So barricade's one of them ones you need a real good seed bed. Get a nice fluffy seed bed and compact it. You know, I show on here, I think I was looking through here earlier. Let me click it up here. That's my go-to right there when it comes to planting barricade. You know, you don't need a monstrous cul-de-pack or nothing. You can use a roller. I use a cul-de-packer because I know what it can do. You know, you always want to plant on a firm seed bed. So till, disc, whatever you're doing there, or even if you're running a drag harrow or something over it, compact the soil, broadcast, compact again. You're going to get the best results that way. Do not plant it heavy. Do not plant anything heavy, especially anything in the food plot industry. You do not want to plant heavy. It's the worst thing you can ever do. Barricade especially. So you want them plants to have room to grow and not suck all the nutrients out of the soil too quick and starve each other for nutrition. But yeah, again, get out there, work your ground, compact the soil, broadcast, compact again. You can drill it too. If you got a drill, you can drill it in. So one thing this plant loves is nitrogen. I mean, it loves it. I've told it many times on here. I'm running triple 19 on it. If I got a real moist year and I got plenty of rain coming in, yes, I'll throw some urea on, but usually I'm running triple 19. And then with our Jolt fertilizer, I have a boomless sprayer. It's got the single boom on the back of it, nozzle on the back of it. I can turn it sideways and blow a fan sideways. So I'll run it on both sides of it with that Jolt fertilizer throughout the growing season, and I'll just coat that with that Jolt fertilizer running back and forth with that fan going sideways. So it works very well. Chris Ashley, absolutely, bud. Honey Hole is a good one. Still our #1 seller after all these years. What, 30? What did I think that was the other day? 36 years? 36 years. Yeah, 36 years on Honey Hole. Honey Hole's 36 years old, and Trophy Clover's 37 years old this year. Yeah, no problem, Jeff. We can talk at the Dells when I'm there here in a few weeks about it. Doug Lamb, no, the small town throwdown is not coming back. It or the Southern Greens, both of them are completely discontinued. And working on a few things there with them. Probably more rebranding, renaming, and changing a few things down the road. But right now we have a different mix that we really want to bring out. Robert, if you're having issues of your season getting over before the deer start hitting your honey hole real hard, plant the lights out. The lights out are going to give the deer a lot of more early and mid-season draw. Then you got the late season food in there to get you through the winter. But yeah, plant the lights out. You'll like it a lot. Chris is asking on here, Honey Hole, how much time would you leave between foliar applications of Jolt, or would you use plant color appearance to determine when to apply the second coat? A little bit of both. You get learning your plot real well. You'll start noticing if that plant is struggling. But if you don't know that, you don't know what you're looking for, we've actually tested our jolt, which I'm sorry it's down there. We've tested our jolt as in actually a monthly spraying. I wouldn't spray it any more than once a month. You can, but a once a month application is going to give you exactly what you want. But if your plants are nice and green and lush, they're not starving. But you start seeing them tips start turning. The biggest thing that really hurts you with an annual like that is the bugs. So what I like to do, especially my brassica mixes like honey hole, slam dunk, fall, winter, spring, lights out, all them, the grade 8, all of them. I will actually use 7 or a bug pesticide. I'll mix it in with my jolt and I'll go out there and spray a few times through the growing season just to help to keep the bugs off of it. Because a lot of times the plant's getting what it needs, but the bugs are making it look like it doesn't. And you can see that by the holes in the leaves. You start seeing a bunch of holes in the leaves, that you got some insect issues there, and you need to get it sprayed with a pesticide of some sort or insecticide of some sort. Mark's asking, anybody been out doing some frost seeding yet? I'll tell you what, if they didn't hear, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to get it now with this weather we got coming in. Man, it is. It's warming up. We're getting a flood. I don't know how it is over there with you, Mark, but we got rain like the next 7 days. So most of the main frost seeding is pretty much going to be over with right now in this area. A lot more for up north and stuff like that, but it's my favorite time of year, overseeding the plots instead of frost seeding. I don't frost seed anymore in existing food plots. Only to build a food plot I will, to establish one, but I never frost seed into an existing plot. I always wait till it greens up and see if I got any bare spots or thin spots, then I'll just overseed into it with some rain. But it's too easy to overseed into a plot with too much seed when you don't know what that plot's going to look like before it gets back into its growing state. Mike, that you're looking about 600 pounds on that Packer Max. So you better believe I'm still using the 3-wheeler. That's my baby. I bought a new 4-wheeler this year just to take some stress off of the 3-wheeler because, again, that is my baby. They're going to have to dig a big hole when I die because they're going to bury me if me sitting on it, holding on the steering wheel or the handlebars. So it's got some age on it, 1986. I mean, it's got some age on it, runs like a champ, nothing wrong with it. But I have abused that thing in food plots. But every time I take the 4-wheeler out, I wish I had the 3-wheeler because I'm just a 3-wheeler guy, it's one of them things. But yes, oh yeah. The old Big Red pulls a Packer Max all the time. Brandon, good to see you on here, bud. Getting asked, what did I use before? What did I use for getting into with Antler King? I guess you're talking about product. Truthfully, when I got in, it's been, what is this? This is my 25th year with Antler King. Prior to that, there wasn't very many companies out there. Whitetail Institute was one, Antler King was one. That's about all there was. And I was the one that would go to, we had a local FS shop in Champaign, Illinois, and you could buy seed by the pound. And even when I was younger, when I was a little kid wanting to get into it, before I had a driver's license, my dad would run me up there and we'd get a couple pounds of seed and throw it out, clovers, whatever. I always use clovers. Dad always told me he wants something that the deer are going to eat all the time. So, long story short, that's how I did it all the way up till I met the guys at the Illinois Deer Classic one year. I walked up to the Antler King booth and I was looking on the corner of the booth and it had a bag called Trophy Clover. And I was looking at the back of it, and this guy, Adam, which was a pro staffer for Antler King at that time, walks up. I think it was Adam. I have to think about that. I think it was. Walked up and asked me if I had any questions. So he gave me the spill on Trophy Clover and why you should use it, this and that. And, you know, I bought a bag of Trophy Clover and I did exactly what he told me. I didn't know anything about pH of the soil. I didn't know what lime did. I didn't know what fertilizer to use. I actually didn't use fertilizer back then. And I did exactly what he told me to do. And I thought I had some good looking clover plots by buying that seed by the pound and not using fertilizer, not knowing that I needed it, not knowing that I needed the lime in there to build my pH up. The first year that I planted the Trophy Clover, I thought it should be on the front cover of a catalog. I've never seen something so beautiful, so big, so lush, and watched the deer hammer it. And at that time, I fell in love with that product. And the next year at the show, I went back and bought more, and talking to the guys, and they told me you should call up and talk about getting on the pro staff. And that year I joined the pro staff. I've been with Antler King ever since. So, so yeah, just getting stuff out of the 55-gallon drum from FS to getting on the pro staff to getting to work for Antler King part-time, then going full-time with Antler King. Been there 25 years. I mean, I can't beat it. I'm a blessed man. Jeff asking about the new mix being available. We're hoping to have it available for the fall planting. So hoping June-ish, somewhere in there. I can't answer that right off the bat, so we're doing all the artwork and stuff now, see what goes on. Yeah, I hear you, Brian. Yeah, somebody needs to come out with something that kills ticks in a food plot mix. You got that right. I will tell you one thing, Brian, if you're in an area that you can use minerals, start using our trophy deer mineral, you'll be amazed in about 3 years the difference ticks will be on your property, especially on your deer hides. You won't find any. It's crazy. But I can't tell you what's in there that does that, but it's in there. Well, guys, it's 8:04. They're beeping on me on here, telling me I need to get off of here because I ran over my hour, but I really don't care. It was a great night on here. Looking forward to seeing all you guys here in a couple weeks, and maybe see some of you at the Iowa show next weekend. I got Ohio here in a couple weeks and the Wisconsin show. So hope to see you guys around. If you need anything, like always, reach out to me any way you can. We'll get you taken care of. You guys have a great night. Take care.